incidents of in-flight violence and hold unruly passengers accountable if they break the law. Flight attendants are the very definition of frontline workers. They are dedicated, trained, vigilant professionals. They do so much more than offer hospitality. They're the first line of defense against threats to safety. They're on alert for things like cabin depressurization, fires, medical emergencies, and mental health crises, and they are communicating directly and constantly with the captain. They care for everyone aboard their aircraft and are trained to de-escalate difficult situations. An assault against them threatens the safety and security of the aircraft. Our proposal means that individuals who commit violence in the air may forfeit their right to fly commercially. Every person who steps foot on a plane, whether they are a passenger or a cabin crew member, has the right to a safe flight, free of violence. There has been a significant spike in so-called ear rage cases, and while the overall rate is low, only about 3.8 incidents per 10,000 flights, we want to get that number back down to a fraction of that, as close to zero as possible. In response to the uptick of these air rage incidents, the FAA has taken steps and implemented more stringent policies for disruptive passengers. In December, the agency proposed a record $52,500 fine against a passenger who tried to open the cockpit door on a Delta flight from Honolulu to Seattle, struck a flight attendant twice, and threatened him. That kind of violent behavior is deplorable in any setting, but on a plane, it's downright dangerous. So if you're going to terrorize a cabin full of innocent passengers or knock out a flight attendant's teeth, then understand this: you will forfeit your chance to fly. It's that simple. Our approach is not going to impact the average flyer, but it will put a stop to the worst offenses, behavior that results in a civil penalty or criminal conviction. We ensure due process, transparency, and oversight. Advance notice will be provided to banned individuals, including guidelines for removal and opportunities to appeal. Our approach is fair and transparent, and we will work on a bipartisan basis to try to build support and pass it. Ideally, this bill will serve as a deterrent. We must put a stop to violence on aircraft. The TSA, the FAA, and the Department of Justice need to play their roles to crack down on air rage incidents. And Congress needs to provide the tools to protect the traveling public. We want everyone to have a smooth, safe, boring flight. Let me stop there and now turn it over to my partner, Congressman Swalwell. Eric, please.
Well, thank you, Senator, for being such a faithful partner to make sure that the friendly skies are free from violence. This is legislation that has the Senate and the House behind it. It has Republicans and Democrats behind it. But most importantly, the airlines and the flight attendants and the airline pilots are behind it. 85% of flight attendants in the last 2 years have experienced an air rage incident. Their job is not to be a hall monitor. They're not a boxing referee. As the Senator said, they're there to keep us safe in the skies. They're first responders in case there was a real technical maintenance, air flight, in-flight incident. That's their job. But they're distracted these days, playing hall monitor and breaking up fights, and too many times being victims of violence themselves. As a father of 3 kids in diapers who flies back and forth from California to Washington, I've seen how unsettling it is for families to witness these in-flight incidents. Having your kids exposed and vulnerable to violence that's occurring around them. I've seen mothers huddling over their kids as these incidents take place. They threaten the safety of passengers. They threaten the economy of America. When flights are diverted and have to land somewhere outside the flight path, that throws things off. And that's happening daily across America at every airport. Enough is enough. This legislation says plainly, if you commit violence in the sky, it may be your last flight. It puts in place and addresses many due process concerns of notice, the right to appeal, but it also says if you're convicted, it may be your last flight. So it's a consequence and a penalty for anyone who would commit violence, but hopefully, as we come out of COVID, is hopefully the day will come soon when masks are no longer required because the science says it's safe. We'll see these incidents decrease. But hopefully this is also a deterrent, because no one would want to take their last flight over something as ridiculous as throwing a punch at a flight attendant or a fellow traveler. Enough is enough. There will be consequences in the future. And Congress, you're seeing, Republicans and Democrats, senators and representatives are united to make everyone in the cockpit safer. I'll turn it back to the senator for.
Thank you, Eric. Any questions?
Quickly on Congressman Swalwell, you said that this has bipartisan support. Can you just name a few people or give me some examples of Republicans that have been backing this? I know the Department of Justice declined to create a similar no-fly list last year, and so what bipartisan support do you have, the chances of this passing? Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, our colleague from Pennsylvania, Brian Fitzpatrick, has just signed on board. We're introducing this today. We believe that having a Republican on board will bring some of the other Republicans who may see this as, a policy about masks or a statement about masks. That's not it at all. We actually think the mask requirement on planes will be lifted relatively soon, and when it is, you're still going to have the risk of in-flight violence, and it's really just respecting the flight attendants and the flight crew and passengers who are saying, we don't want to be subjected to this, we want a deterrent, and so we're not doing this as any sort of statement about COVID. It's a statement about safety, and so we expect, now that we have a Republican on board, a serious Republican on board, there will be more to follow.
So if they do remove the mask mandate on flights, you still think there's a need for this piece of legislation? Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely, because some of these incidents have been generated by individuals with mental health issues. Some have been generated by people who are just angry with the people next to them. They have no objection to the mask. They're just angry and out of sorts. And the danger to a flight and to the passengers by someone acting up is significant and puts at risk hundreds of lives. We can't tolerate that. So.
And odds of this legislation coming forward?
Well, look, the Secretary of Transportation has welcomed, a policy around this. He's publicly stated that before. So this is reflecting, the administration saying that, there needs to be some sort of mechanism to hold accountable people that commit violence. So we're both going to work hard on this. I sit on the Homeland Security Committee, the Judiciary Committee. So, those are two committees that, could have perhaps jurisdiction. And I know the Senator is committed to making sure that people in the skies are much safer.
Anyone else? Well, I want to salute my colleague who is taking an extraordinarily positive and proactive and successful path in leading this effort in the House, and we'll start working in the Senate too. Eric, thank you.
Of course, thank you, Senator.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you too.
Thank you all.